Good afternoon. Yes, it's a Sunday, and Tim is going to really get this 100 shows in 30 days. All right. Hey, I'm Tim Gillette. This is the Tim Gillette Show, and we're back with another episode where I'm going to actually bring someone else to you who I've met before, but I really don't know. So I get to know all about her. And again, that's what's great about my show is sometimes I get to know people on air, and I love doing that. To me, it's the way to create content is get to know people on air. So Kathy Mason is someone, you know what I mean? It's through the process, just went, hey, I hear you're doing podcasts. I'll be on yours if you be on mine, type deal. And I'm like, oh, well, heck yeah. All right. I get to find out more about you and the fact that she's got an interesting story. And we're basically going to find out all about her today live on camera. So let me bring Kathy Mason on right now. Kathy, how are you?
Great. Thanks for having me, Tim.
Yep. Hey, it's good to connect with you. I think we met in person at Craig's event, didn't we?
Yep. And you were really the only one that I met that really was a rock star.
No.
I mean, everyone else was like, yeah, I want it. I want the energy. I want everything. But you are the rock star. So that's why when I saw you were doing this, like, oh, cool.
Tell Craig that, all right. But like I tell Craig now, every time I mention you on his show, I mention him on my show. I've got to get paid, so he's got to pay me a royalty because we mentioned.
Good luck with that.
So you just keep mentioning him, and I'm keeping tabs over here how much Craig owes me.
Okay. Well, we can say it 5 more times, but everybody. So.
Craig, it's interesting when you go to conferences, you get to meet some of the coolest people in the world, though, isn't it true?
Well, what's interesting with all those conferences is that they spark this new knowing inside you, because all of this is about being brave enough to show up as who you are. And so when you see somebody else being brave, then you can go, oh, okay, well, maybe I could do that a little bit. Yeah. Or if they're outrageous, then you go, oh, well, then it's safe to even be me, right?
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I've been involved with a lot of other events like that. A lot of spiritual things, like Hay House type things, and so some of those are like heavy transformation, and then you go back home, and it's real hard to keep it. And that's the same thing with those marketing or. I've done so many classes, even small 20 people classes like that, where you're gung-ho, you do it while you're there. And some of them, I did one where we got on TV, and the guy forced us to get the appointments while we were still there, because he knew once you leave, it's hard to force yourself once you get back into the grind and your regular routine to force yourself to go to that next level.
Yeah. So and it's interesting that you're in marketing as well.
Yeah.
And this that it takes, sometimes it takes accountability, which is part of my program. I say accountability, all right, or discipline is the word I use. But your clientele, all right, how do you keep them accountable and doing the work?
Well, okay, so my business is very different than yours. My business is based on strategy, then implementation, and then a little bit of publishing. And the strategy actually is your soul mission. So I'm psychic and intuitive. And usually when I work with somebody on a project, we open up the Akashic records, and I get it kind of out of the way. And their higher self, my higher self talks to their higher self, and then I'm shown a movie of what their soul mission is and what their timeline is. Really, it's a timeline. And then a lot of times I'm shown the name of the products, everything they have to, all the baby steps they have to make to get to that final. And so my accountability has been more like, I hold energy for all of this to manifest, but they have to step up. So they have to, so let's say I talk to you and you're here, and then what's revealed, and it's not me. I promise you, a lot of times I don't even know what I said. Thank God for Zoom, because we can record it.
Yeah.
So the future them is a different frequency and a different person than who they're being now.
Mm-hmm.
So what my job is to keep mirroring and showing them that future self.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little different than, hey, did you get your project done this week? It's more, how are you being?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of this, if their soul wants them to know it, it's just waiting to come down.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a little supernatural, I guess.
Okay. So would you work with them on like improving, like taking on habits, or how do they implement that?
Okay,
I
so
guess is how I want to say.
a lot of it is that once they open up to their divinity,
Mm-hmm.
which is all of us have a reason that we came here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I truly believe that that's why this goofiness that we're in right now, we have to actually be excited about it in my viewpoint,
Mm-hmm.
because this is the change and the reason you wanted to be here during all of this, because this is a great opening of chance for humanity to pick a different matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so what we do is we create the little steps that get them so they can see that future state happening. So
Mm-hmm.
it may be making their first product. It may be building their email list. It may be a first part of their launch. It might be building their websites and claiming who they really are. Because a lot of these people, they're magical and they've been afraid to claim their greatness because of how they grew up.
Mm.
And
Wow.
who knows what else is the reason why. But so a lot of my job is to hold the space, because once they say, yeah, I want to do this. I mean, I've had grown men in their 70s cry while we're doing this, because it was their soul speaking to them, and they finally went, yes, I know, that's what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But my job is to help you build that. So a lot of times it's making products, and it's getting people on telesummits if they're healers, creating packages. So it's all different. I've worked with some of the Hay House authors behind
Oh, okay.
their
Yeah.
launches. Yeah. Yeah. So it's real different.
Yeah. How do you handle that with someone who kind of comes up and would go, you know what I mean? They don't want to obey or listen to the intuitive side that's really it's telling them what to do, but they don't want to obey. What do you do? How do you handle that?
I just give them space until
Uh-huh.
they do. Because the thing is you know how it is when you get a hit to do something
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you don't do it, it comes around again.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's like they wouldn't have paid me, and I'm not inexpensive. They wouldn't have paid me to do that if it wasn't really something was pushing them to work with somebody to
Yeah.
get their song out.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like you playing the guitar and
Mm-hmm.
you forgot to plug in the electric.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like playing instead of right.
Yep.
So their soul somehow found me, and people find me from all over the world. I mean, it's like I mean, I only work in English, although I speak Italian.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume everything's in divine order, in divine timing. I'm just here as a facilitator. A lot of times I'll ask if I work with somebody, it's like, oh, what a personality is this?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say, is this mine to do? And if I get a yes, it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's mine to do. So
Mhm.
here we go. So again, accountability is only good if somebody wants it.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
Well,
do you get people to be accountable?
basically, if you don't, in my program, if you don't do the work and you want to come back and renew next year, I'm sorry. Like, I don't waste my time on people who don't do the work. But that's why I kind of ask why, you know what I mean? What do you do if people don't? Because I get it. There's people who go, you know what I mean? You sit there and you go with them. This is the path to your success. And they go, no, I want to sit home and watch TV and I want the money to come in.
Right.
It don't work that way. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yours is different. Mine's a discipline and tasks. Yours isn't. So it's meaning we're driven two different ways.
It may include tasks. Like if we do strategy, I have 2 different ways people work with me. One is I have a course that I started, a signature course that I started about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, that a small group of people taking the course. But before that, people were only working one-on-one with me, and they knew that I kept reminding them. I mean, the people that do that kind of work where it's $6,000 to $10,000, they have to not want to do it pretty bad to pay for that and then not perform. But a lot of times you have to hold the knowing until the time is right, because you don't know what everybody's stuff is.
Yeah.
And so I'm not that. I mean, I can be disappointed or I can be frustrated, but that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, yeah, and that, I mean, but yeah, yours is trying to open them up to what they've got to do. All right, whereas mine is, okay, you came to me because you wanted a certain set of actions to do, and it's 2 different types of working with people. Both are right, just both have a different place.
Well, I might flip a couple people to you.
Yeah.
because well, the thing is that what again is that if we assume that everybody is here to do something remarkable, if they choose, then only the people that are ready. And I don't know how you make them ready. I mean,
I can't make them ready. Yeah, that's
yeah. Well, no, and hopefully your process screens them out. My process screens them out, because if they're not into psychic work or into consciousness, they really aren't attracted to my kind of work, because I'm actually in part of the time stuff is coming through from a higher source that isn't me.
Yeah, cool. Well, I mean, you've got it, and I think when I asked that question, I was thinking along the lines, once they're your clients, but if they're not your clients and they're not open to it, really, you do want to go, I'm sorry, let me refer you to somebody who can better help you.
Right.
You know? And that's,
they don't even call.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
I've been doing this. I've had my own business doing this for 20 years.
Good.
So for 20 years, I've been behind the scenes, and I went to Craig's. We said it again. I went to Craig's Rockstar Marketing because I wanted to see how to do the bigger version of it. And part of it was really my stuff, and part of it wasn't. Because probably because I only am supposed to work with certain people, right? So I wasn't an everybody come here and buy my $197 product.
So let me ask you this, because I'd like to ask people who come on the show here. All right, there had to be some way that led you to do this. All right, can we talk about the story or the path that got you here for a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So where did you start with this that led you to here?
Okay. Well, I started doing marketing plans back in 1978 for myself, where I had worked for a clothing store for 5 years, and then I got the opportunity to buy it. And my dad had recently passed, and my uncle, who was a lawyer, held the strings on the trust, and I wanted to get my money out so I could buy this clothing store. And he was adamant I had to do a marketing plan. So I did a marketing plan and got funded. And within 3 years, within 1 year, I tripled the business. And then the next year, so it went from 200 and something thousand to 750,000. And then the next year it went to 1 million. And there was like 3 employees.
Wow. That's good.
So I knew I had something. So then I went through a bad divorce, like 12 years later, lost that store, and ended up working for other people, and ended up doing those marketing plans. And the first one, we increased their business 10 times. The next one, we went from 0 to 250,000 in 6 months. Then the next one, we went from 850,000 to 5 million in a year.
Wow.
doing these plants. So these plants are magical. They really get you clear on who you're really supporting and what their issues are, so you can make products and services that support them.
Mhm.
Duh. And then do something. The other thing that's different about it is that there's another secret weapon in it, that's an innovation. It's not just doing what your competitors do, but different. Your version of it, it's the next version of that.
Mhm.
So that's how since I started. Okay, so I went from not working for myself to then getting to work for Arthur Andersen in
Okay.
corporate America. So I hid my woo-woo psychic stuff, and I was I was running the change enablement group right under partner in Denver. It was Denver, Dallas, and Houston,
Mm.
before Enron thing.
Okay.
Enron was in our area. And it was called the Change Enablement, which is training, and change usually is mergers and acquisitions, which you're going to see tons of them now. I had 80 employees under me, and we would do all these projects. We were doing a lot of online learning. And then as soon as I got out of there, I started my own business again. And I got out of that corporate environment because I really didn't see how it was serving people. You'd only hire those big name consulting firms when you want to cover your ass. You don't really hire them to get the most ingenious ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted out. But that job funded me starting my own business again.
Cool. Cool.
So, and that was 20 years ago.
And you've been now in your current company. You've been doing it for 20 years. So, where is your company located at? And has it always been there? You're in
Boulder, Colorado.
Okay.
Well, Boulder, Colorado. I worked out of my home for the first 6 years. I was a single mom.
Mhm.
And then as soon as I could, I got an office, and I've had several different offices. And right now, that's the only thing that's been a little weird with the virus lockdown, is that a lot of my stuff's still at my office.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
It's my house, so I just have to adjust. But we've been super busy. Lots of people that procrastinated wanting to get their stuff online are wanting to get online now. Thank goodness. Thank
And
goodness.
it's funny, all of a sudden I'm getting a lot of calls for help.
Yeah, it's so good because we need them.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is a time to have creative input and inspiration,
Mhm.
because you can see the old systems are going. Nobody thought education was doing well before. Nobody thought a lot of the economy was doing great. I mean, your stocks might have been doing great, but the rest of the system is so unfair to most people.
Mhm.
So this whole opportunity now is to have these creative people show up with different ideas, and hopefully get to be seen enough that their ideas could be used.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what I mean? It being the fact that you do it, intuitive type work, all right, are a lot of people who would never call you. Are they calling you now going, okay, help me read through this?
I'm having people that, so it's so different. So I work with some healers, I work with some authors. We're publishing 2 books right now. We just published a book last month. So I've got all different things, people at different levels. Like, one of my customers is an expert on education reform, and we've published 2 of his other books. His 3rd book should be out this month, and his stuff could be what we use to change the education system. And he knows. He's so guided, he could only work with somebody like me. I mean, a lot of these people that you might not get them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just reality is.
It
It's
is.
so
Yeah.
magical. I have another lady that I'm working with that we're launching. She has so many products. She is an expert at releasing trauma and PTSD.
Oh, okay. Cool.
She has worked oh, she's a magical being. I've got another woman who we published a book for that's an expert on creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've got another gentleman that is working. He's an MD. He has he's a master, a qigong master, and he's a master healer. He's got his resume is like 3 pages of stuff, including all this Oriental medicine, and he's just published a book. So there, some people are going, okay, I got my book now, I'm ready to rock. And they thought that we were going to get them on stages and on TV and all that. So now it's like, okay, where else are we getting you? So shows like yours and as many face forward so that their message can be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think all of these people are like geniuses in what they do.
Well, I work very closely with a gentleman who's speaking at my conference here in Dallas, and you know what I mean. He in his networking group, he says, you know what I mean. You have to see yourself. You have to be success in your own eyes, because who am I to define success for you?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, that's when we look at the people who are going to you for help versus the people who may be going to me for help. And then there's some who want to go to both of us for help. You know what I mean? It's like, who are we to define their success? We're just here to guide you to the next level. That's all we are here to do. Right.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I hope it's not a cop out, but I'm totally guided. Yeah. It's not like, again, as I said, I've been doing this for 20 years. I haven't done tons of marketing. It's been word of mouth. I've done some amazing projects, and people kind of just find me. Now I'm getting more visible because I have a Facebook show called Conscious Business Zone that I want you to be on.
Yep.
And but you have to see that everybody. It's time. I mean, what are people waiting for? You can watch TV some other time, right?
Yeah. We recorded Casablanca last night to watch tonight. So
that's funny. But do you know what I mean? It's like when I saw you and we were at the Rockstar event. I mean, it's like you are a rock star. You're showing people how to show up in their joy, in who they really are, without the mask, without making sure that everything's just right. It's like the raw way to show up. So the authentic way is so different than most traditional marketing. It's like, let's brand you, let's put on this outfit, and you always have to show up with this background and da 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 da. It's like I think social media killed all of that.
Well, yes, this is going to be the time that's going to show. I use this word, Kathy. I don't know how I mean, it makes some people uncomfortable.
Okay.
But I say the word like, I mean, this thing is going to wipe away some of the false prophets. I mean, and I know some people who are watching my show who are going to be like, are you picking on me? But I'm like, that's the best way I know how to describe it. All right. Is they've been putting on a show for people, and they have no real roots to back it up.
Right.
You know, and you see that within, being intuitive and being someone who tunes into that. You've got to be able to go, yeah, that guy's a phony.
Well, I don't. The nice way of doing that is it's just not mine to do.
Yeah.
Or if someone makes it too complicated because they're in their head and not in their heart. I really work with people that are working from their heart. A lot of them may be channeling, doing light language and all sorts of stuff. I mean, I have so many cool customers. Some work with other dimensions. Some people. One of my customers is a crystallogist, where she works with crystals and does all this healing. She makes these cool organ generators.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, that's keeping me from all the 5G. Yeah. Anyway, so and this afternoon I'm doing a free healing with one of my customers who is he spins your torus so that you get energized. So I mean, I just think everybody's got a gift, and there's a marketing person or a coach, somebody that can help you show up. And it may be baby steps. That's all I'm saying. It's not everybody's going to go for it like they would with you or me.
Mm-hmm.
They're not ready for. They shun away from being seen that much.
Yeah. So, well, and it's great that, you've got this, you've got this intuitiveness, and it's great that you've been doing this for 20 years. So you've got a reputation for doing it. But something else I'd like to ask my guests is there somebody in your past, Kathy? All right. Maybe it was a friend, a boss, a mentor that basically gave you some piece of advice that you hang on it and it keeps driving you. All right. For me, it was a boss who said something in my 20s, but was there something like that for you?
No, I didn't have, okay. So I had a white light experience.
Okay.
So that wasn't a boss. That was me connecting to myself. 15 years ago, I took a course called Avatar all the way through. It took me a whole year to go through all of them. Mm-hmm. And the last course is called Wizards. And in Wizards is a function called the ultimate. Mm-hmm. And what it is that you have a spotter. Now, I had this English lady that I'd never met before. So it was just out of a group of probably 500 of us at $7,500 each. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, and I'm lying down and she's spotting me, and she just keeps saying, release everything that isn't you. Release everything that isn't you. So finally, I saw me, mm-hmm. and I connected. So that vision of how little of me is really in this body, mm-hmm. I reflect on it every single day.
Wow.
So it wasn't a person, it was an experience. I mean, I've had people that I love dearly that support me emotionally and that have been wonderful. But that was the pivot point, because if you saw how much of your energy is available to you, that if you just cleared a little bit of the storylines that you could use, everyone would want that.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what, I mean, when you talk about light workers, that's what most of the people that you see that aren't false prophets, that are just doing the work, they're compassionate and loving, holding space for others to show up.
Yeah.
That's the light work, really.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I had something like that with, as well. I went through a life enrichment seminar that many, many years ago, and it was someone I was tied to, was a mentor and friend. All right. And I remember that night of the seminar that I was going through, where they basically had us do some exercise that basically in our minds, like we're talking to God. All right. And we were holding on to someone or something in our life, right, and we had to let it go.
Right.
And having to leave it go, for me, it was this friend. And I remember having to leave it go. And I remember having in my mind, they're telling you how to vision putting that person or thing in God's hands and him reaching down and taking it from you. And like when you got it, all right, your eyes are closed during the whole time. And they make you, when they say, when you get it and you've let go, you uncross your hands. All right.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? So it was they had you engaged to do it. And it's probably very similar to your light work. All right. But I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. Even though I don't understand your business. I get it.
Right. Well, no, I don't know that I understand it. I mean, I did an interview last year, and the guy said, well, how is this different than regular marketing? And it's like, I don't have the words for, I listen to other people and sometimes get words. Mm-hmm. I don't always have words to explain things. I've gotten a little better.
Yeah.
But it's just a knowing that there's so much more available, and that that you really did come. This is Earth School,
Mm-hmm.
and you really did come down here with a game plan, and you might have forgot.
Yeah.
And there might be a longing to remember. That's all.
Cool. No, it's totally cool. So, I mean, I always ask that mentorship question, and I think that's the first time I got it that I helped me find it, but it's okay. It's cool. Because that tunes you into, I mean, helps you keep tuned into that. For me, it's like a little thing that was said to me has motivated me to do my job every day.
Wonderful.
For gosh, 35 years now. It's like, but most people don't. They don't listen to that. And now the fact that you're helping clients, are you trying to be that person or trying to do that one thing that makes them go and do the work? So 35 years from now, they're going, well, Kathy guided me through this. Kathy said this. Are you trying to do that with them?
I think that's it happens. I don't know that that a lot of times they don't attribute it to me. Like I'll hear them later and they'll be talking, and it's like, oh cool, they got it. I don't have to be a part of the next step if I'm not supposed to launch them, if I'm just supposed to wake them up, or because it's their higher self just using me to talk to them. So it's not like I mean, I am given, like, what a lot of times I've been given the product, what it looks like this one lady who I just love, Jade Rader. She is an empath, and I've known her probably 20 years, and she creates this things called clears, and they're Klears. And what they are is they're these little 8 to 10 minute guided meditations, visualizations that help you clear an aspect. And as an empath, I think this shift that we're going through right now with all the energies, we've got the photonic energies that are coming onto the planet that are causing this huge shift right now. So the first step is almost everyone's going to become empathic. And a lot of people aren't going to know, is this I'm feeling me, or am I feeling the guy next to me? And especially with the fear over the virus and the shutdown. So her work, when we worked together, I saw 99 audios on her website. We saw, I mean, I'll say but it was her, really. So the next thing I noticed, she's like, 99, what are you talking about? That's so many. Just like you doing 100 of these, right?
Yeah.
I mean, something inspired you to do it. Anyway, damn if she didn't do them. I mean, it was, as soon as she started, they just all came through, and their packs of 9s, and it was everything that came through, and it was easy. It was easy. Somebody helped her edit them, and the music, the background music, was easy. Everything happened. So it's sort of that, where you just have to begin, and then you're proved. It's like with yours, I'm sure they just begin and they start to get somewhere, and they feel that energy and that excitement. Is that true, Tim? If you can get them to make the baby step, right?
And I've always with my clients is always like, you know what I mean? If you don't get it, let's break it down into, let's break it down to 3 steps to get you to get it. But it is. And I want to backtrack a little bit there on something you said. You actually mentioned the fact that, sometimes you do this not knowing you do it, but you're glad they got it.
Yeah.
All right. For me, I personally, because I had no idea that I influenced you at Craig's event. I had no idea.
Right.
I just do it and I get it. People come up to me and you're like, the guy Frank who inspired me in the 1980s probably had no clue. I don't even know where he is anymore. You know what I mean?
You should find him.
He was in his 80s then, so I don't know. Yeah, he's probably long gone.
He's probably right here.
Yeah, he's probably listening. But anyway, it's just you get told later on, and part of you, I don't sit there and go, oh, good me. No, I just go, oh, great. I'm glad that worked for you. Great. I mean, because you get it. It's like they get it. You're glad they got it.
Right. Right. And it doesn't matter. I don't have to own it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you want to, as a marketing person, you want to have results. You want to be able to say this happened then, and have numbers and figures and proof. But so much of this is really, it's helping people be who they really are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's really not, it's nothing more than that. It's all different levels, and you can call it all different things, but they already have this genius within them, and they may not have a path to letting it out. And that's where your experience and your systems can help them.
Yep. Exactly. So, well, Kathy, I want to make sure people who are listening in can get a hold of you. Okay. And what is the best website that they can reach you, and the best place that they can get to you?
Okay. Well, masonworksmarketing.com is my website, and and during this time I thought I'd fix it and update it, but oh well, there it is. But I'm also on Facebook, and my Facebook thing is under facebook.com/Kathy Mason Love. And then I'm in a whole bunch of groups. I do a Tuesday and Thursday Facebook live show called Conscious Business Zone, which is what I call these businesses that have incredible gifts to help shape our future and give back to humanity. I call them conscious businesses. So that's where I interview people like you that are resources for my clients that don't have time to go look for resources.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. Well, Kathy, it's been fun having you on the show today, and I've learned quite a bit. This is educational, very educational. So,
well, this is I haven't been that brave explaining what I do in public. I haven't had a lot of interviews, so I appreciate you picking me as one of your 100 to be on, and I hope that you. I mean, this is really an amazing feat what you're doing, and just show people. Don't be afraid of just getting out there and sharing, right?
Yeah. Get up and do something. All right. And you know what I mean? Whether you lead you to do it, or, I give you advice to do it, or Kathy gives you advice to just get up there and do it.
Well, the thing is, it's digital. So if it's really bad, you can delete it.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
So, I have not deleted any of my episodes yet. I think over the years, I've only pulled one thing down because the tools and everything I was explaining are gone. So I pulled it down anyway.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, I'm in the same boat. I had to take one thing down because the person explained really their magic, and they got flack from their regular.
Wow. Wow. No.
Well, oh well.
Yeah.
So, but thank you so much, and this is really fabulous. I wish you a lot of success with all of this.
So, Kathy, though, before I close my show out, I don't know if you're aware, I've got a game.
Okay.
I play this little game with all of my clients called This or That.
Okay.
And I've got a list of about 8 or 9 things that I just want to see which one you'd choose.
Okay.
I learned this from watching Sammy Hagar do it on TV, so I got to give Sammy Hagar the credit.
Okay.
So basically, about 8 or 9 things. I'm just going to give them some of them. You may relate, and some don't. All right. And I hope that you find them all in humor.
Okay.
Don't take offense to them.
Okay.
So I start this one up, and I kind of ask everybody, and some people it relates. Some people are like, well, yeah, I like one, I like the other. But I always like to ask, do you like Star Wars or Star Trek?
Both.
Both.
Well, Star Trek, probably.
Yeah. It's some people like one or the other, and some people like them both. It's okay. So, Kathy, oh man. Oh, whoa. Anyway, so I just had something get caught in my throat, and I'm like, whoa, I've never had that happen while being live on air.
Oh no. Okay,
Kathy, if you're riding in your car, would you rather listen to a podcast or listen to music? Music. Any kind of music, or do you have a specific?
I'm still Oh, I love so many different kinds. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of Andrea Bocelli.
Oh
A lot
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
Italian, so
yeah.
it's the only way I get to practice, and I
Oh,
can sing along with it.
yeah, yeah. It's good music. So
Yeah.
if you had a choice to go when this is over and you have a choice to get back out again, would
Yeah.
you rather go to the mountains or the beach?
Mountains. I live in Colorado.
I figured that was going to be the answer. The fact that you lived in Colorado. So, so if you're doing events, basically, you know, you're in the event space like me. Would you rather go to a live event or attend a virtual event and sit at home?
Right now, the second, but I love live events.
Yeah,
And we started doing summits
yeah, yeah,
here too. So
yeah. I love working from home, but I really like to go to those events. You know what I mean? It's a weird combination. I think it's a combination to combine the two. I don't know. It's weird. So
well,
this
you
next-
learn more.
yeah,
You learn
you do.
a lot more.
You engage more at the live events, I think. So this
Yeah.
next one here, all right, is a beverage of choice. Would you rather have coffee or tea?
Tea, bhakti chai.
Look at this tea, and she's actually got the tea in her
Yeah, I
cup.
got it right here. It's bhakti chai. I don't know
Oh,
if you can get it. You can get it here at Costco even.
yeah,
It's the best. It's really spicy.
good stuff. I mean, I'm a coffee guy myself, but I have iced tea. I make my own iced tea.
Oh, well, this is bhakti. This is chai. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's got a lot of cinnamon and
Oh yeah, the good spicy
ginger.
stuff in
Yes,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
wow.
like
Yeah. We I love so I like iced tea, I like green tea. So like I brew my own green tea and then I add lemonade and stuff. And I have it in mason jars, just like I have my moonshine.
and you can add a little.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Craig picks on me for that because he knows I do it. So all right. So if you had to have a pet, would you rather have a cat or a dog?
I have two cats,
Two cats? What are their names?
Pele and Lexi.
Okay.
And I got them already named. Although Lexi was named Hexy,
Yeah.
and so she doesn't know the difference.
Oh, okay.
Her name's been changed.
Do they ever make camera appearances?
Well, you never know. One sleep in there. The other one, like if she wants to come, she'll just bang open the door.
Yeah.
That's been the distraction. That's the kind of stuff that I'm not used to.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
they're great. They're great.
Yeah, my cat's part of my day. He's up in the office on the other side of this. And when on the warm sunshine days, he sleeps there in the morning. Usually when I do interviews, he's around my feet. But since my wife is home, he goes downstairs, upstairs, downstairs because he doesn't know who to lay next to now because everybody's home. Yeah.
Well, mine are like going like, what are you doing here? This is our house.
Yeah, really. So.
Oh well.
The next one I have here is toilet paper, under or over. This is a war item. Huh?
Doesn't matter.
That's a first. We have a first where it doesn't matter on the show. Yes. So yeah, because there's people who like, this is war as the weekend goes.
It's so weird. I mean, people are so weird. When you think about it, it's like, where did that conditioning come from? Was that your grandmother or somebody taught you that and it's the truth?
Yeah. It's well, I had
favorite?
Huh?
What's your favorite?
Oh, to me, I think it's I've gotten used to over, all right, but doing this like in the last couple of weeks, I interviewed Scott McCain last week, and Scott said when I worked radio, he said that was the one way to get the lines to light up was ask that question and people had to call in. He said people would call in over that question, and I'm like, wow. And then I had another girl 2 weeks ago, Tammy Baker. She's out of New England, New Hampshire, and she said if I start dating a guy, and if I have to change it from under to over on the third time, I break up with him. He's not meant for me.
Oh my gosh!
So some people, this is serious. Yeah,
that's bizarre. Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get what a big deal it is. So.
Yeah. So my last question, all right, can be a personal preference. I'm not sure that you wear them, but hey, we never know. Boxers or briefs? She's like, it doesn't matter to me.
I don't. Doesn't matter to me. It was like, I don't wear either one, so no. I guess I've dated guys with either one. Doesn't matter.
Again, those last two questions usually get the most interesting response, Kathy. Like you would not believe.
Okay, well, so that shows how grounded I am in this reality.
Yeah. It's okay. That's what I said. You can't. I mean, don't get offended by it. If they're not for you, they're not for you. But like,
no,
they have responses that can make the show. I'm just saying sometimes.
I'm sorry. I probably didn't help you there.
No. You made the show because you had something totally different that has never been done. It's new.
Over 5,000 shows. No one else has ever done that. Anyway.
Well, anyway, one more time, tell everybody your website, Kathy, so they can get a hold of you after they see this interview. Okay. And make you say it because this is audio as well.
Okay. MasonWorksMarketing.com.
Mm-hmm.
And it spells just like Perry Mason, Mason, works with an S, marketing.com.
Or Mason like the jar?
Yeah. Well, when I lived in Italy, they used to run the black and white reruns back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And so that when I'd say my name, because it's not an Italian name, I'd say like the lawyer. And come avvocato. And they go, oh, okay, now Mason.
They get it.
Yeah, Della, remember?
Yep.
So anyway, so one more time, Craig Duswald owes you, I don't know.
I think it's like he owes me $4 for this episode. So
come on.
Yeah. I think he gets a nickel per mention. Anyway. I pick on Craig and I go back 8 years, and he is. He's one of my closest friends, and he actually just sent me an email on something I suggested to him, and you know what I mean. And I'll read it in private because it's him. He was doing something. We lost a member of our mastermind this year that was dear to all of us, and I just suggested something about we do with it. And I think he's going to. I'm going to go read the email in a couple of minutes. It just came through like while we were on the call today. So. Anyway,
so he knows we're talking about him.
Maybe he knows, but you know what I mean. Anyway, he's sitting there, okay, going, oh my gosh, my bill's going up. Anyway.
Well, so one more time, Craig Duswald. Rockstar Marketing. That's how I met Tim, and he didn't hardly remember me, but I remembered him. And part of the reason I remembered him was that back then it was pure radio. Mm-hmm. And you stood up and said, "Hey, I want more guests. Any of you guys in the room? You weren't. Some of the people that had radio shows were very particular, and if you were a competitor, they certainly wouldn't have you on. Mm-hmm. And you were like, hey, come meet me over here. I want to help. So and you were so genuine. Yeah. Thank you."
Well, thank you for being on the show today, Kathy. And it's MasonWorksMarketing.com. Guys, I'm Tim Gillette with another Tim Gillette show. And I appreciate our guest today coming on. And if you're new to the show, please subscribe. All right. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on Anchor FM. And we are now on iTunes, Apple Podcasts. I'm Tim Gillette. I'll see you next time with another episode of the Tim Gillette Show. Bye now.
Bye. Thank you.